Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So earlier today, I was listening to Diddy talk about hip hop. He was talking about how it's coonery and buffoonery. And I just want to provide a response to his statements, just break it down. First of all, for the most part, the brother is right. I mean, what we hear today, what people call hip hop today, is nothing but coonery and buffoonery on every single level. When you look at it, when you look at what they talk about, when you look at how they actually use the art form in terms of lyrics, in terms of the quality of the music, it's coonery and buffoonery. First of all, you have a message that promotes misogyny, a message that promotes stupidity, a message that promotes thuggery and drug dealing, a message that promotes the degradation of black women, the disrespect of black women, the objectification of black women. When you look at this hip hop thing, just beyond the message, I mean, a message that promotes violence and destruction in our community, a message that promotes drug abuse, not only drug dealing, but drug abuse. You have people glorifying drinking codeine, drinking these toxins, these toxic substances that destroy the body and the mind. But that's glorified on radio, it's glorified in the music, it's glorified in these videos that people watch. And then beyond just the negative message that's being put out here that is basically programming our youth, the art form is just garbage nowadays. I mean, people who are celebrated as some of the greatest rap artists, they don't even write their own lyrics nowadays. They hire people to write lyrics for them. In my mind, that's not hip hop. That's not the hip hop that I remember growing up. The thing that made hip hop special was the creativity, the fact that somebody wrote their own lyrics and that somebody could actually rap, freestyle, that they could actually invent their own songs, telling their own unique stories. But now what you have is a commercial product that's designed to sell and to do nothing else. It's just like burgers at McDonald's. It's not an art form, it's just a product. These rap artists are cookie cutter. They follow a certain formula that's designed to just sell records. That's all they're about. Most of these people are not real. They don't live the life that they talk about in these records. All they do is present this minstrel image for the black man, for the whole world to consume, for the world to view black men as dangerous, to view black women as prostitutes. That's the image that's projected to the world, where you have black people calling each other niggers. And I've heard stories about people going to foreign countries and, the foreigners greeting them by saying, "What's up, my nigger," and all this and that. Just having no respect for black people because we don't have respect for ourselves when we put out this kind of music, this kind of product. These people are so hungry for money. They're so hungry for fame and fortune that they sell their souls literally. They sell their souls. And earlier I was watching a video about propaganda and how it's used to control people. And when you look at this hip hop music, it's similar to the propaganda that was used like years ago in the media, and it's used today. Like how they taught, and this is in a video that I saw that Lashid for You posted. I'll post a link to her video where she's talking about like how people were programmed essentially to think that smoking was some kind of sign of liberation, a sign of women's liberation and women's empowerment and all that kind of stuff. So people were equating smoking with empowerment, when in fact smoking is obviously bad for people's health. It destroys them, it kills them. But they had been programmed to look upon smoking as some kind of sign of status. They use the media to market certain items to people. And that's what they do with this hip hop. They use this hip hop in a sense to market many things to black people. Clothes that black people can't afford, that many black people in these struggling communities can't afford. A lifestyle that's destructive to our community. You have these rap artists singing about selling drugs and participating in criminal activity. That's a lifestyle of prison. That's a lifestyle of death. That's a lifestyle that destroys and erodes our community. A lifestyle that promotes people selling drugs. And as I watched the video that Lashid posted, it just made me just think about like how this music is being used in a sense the same way that those cigarettes were being used to destroy a people. And that's what it's doing. We're destroying ourselves, destroying our communities, destroying the relationship between man and woman, where the men disrespect the women and the women disrespect the men, and where engaging in thuggery and buffoonery is viewed as a sign of what it means to be a real so-called nigga. I mean, this sickness is being projected through this music. So yeah, I mean, Puffy is right. What we have is coonery and buffoonery. And then just beyond the message, as I was saying before, you just have the mere form of the art. These people don't even rap properly nowadays. They don't have any lyrics. They mumble on their songs. It's trash. It's complete trash. I mean, and there are a few artists that stand out, that give me some kind of glimmer of hope in this art form. But those artists don't receive the same level of attention for the most part. I mean, you have a few people like Kendrick Lamar. He had a buzz like a couple of years ago with his album, How to Pimp a Butterfly, something like that. And also you had the J. Cole's. But they're not like the mainstream. I mean, it's not the main music that the young people are listening to. And you still have, some of the older rappers like a Black Thought or Mos Def. And Mos Def is retiring from what I understand, and Common and people like that. And Tribe Called Quest released their last album. But those artists are really on the margins of popular hip hop. So for the most part, Diddy is right. But I think that he's not the proper messenger to convey that important message because, this is a man who profited off of Coonery and Buffoonery. This is a man who promoted Coonery and Buffoonery for years. I mean, even though Biggie is probably one of the greatest MCs ever in terms of his lyrical skills, in terms of his delivery and his stage presence and all that, the fact of the matter is, I mean, a lot of the music that he promoted was negative. It was coonery and buffoonery. I mean, the brother was promoting drug use, drug selling, disrespect to the women, and all that stuff. The stuff that's, popular right now in hip hop as well. So really, Diddy is throwing a stone in a glass house, but I think that his point is well taken. I mean, this hip hop is degenerated into garbage. I mean, you had this guy, Soulja Boy. I mean, he's a clown. I mean, these guys are so weak and so fake, that they want to, in order to build up their street credibility, these guys who are living a privileged lifestyle, these guys who are millionaires living it up, they want to project a thug image. So these guys are actually trying to be affiliated with street gangs in order to bolster, their image or their street credibility. And you have a lot of young people looking up to these guys. I mean, that guy Soulja Boy is making a complete clown of himself, and I won't go into the details, but I think that that's part of what Diddy was alluding to when he talked about coonery and buffoonery. I mean, it's really getting ridiculous. It's really getting ridiculous and stupid. And I just think that this art form deserves better than that. You got these young rappers that don't have any kind of respect for the culture or the history of the art form. And I think that that's crazy, man. I think that that shows just a lack of appreciation. And it just shows you how trash these people are, man. They're garbage. And, we're going to look up in a few years from now, this thing of hip hop is going to be completely unrecognizable. It's going to be a mess. And then another thing that makes this modern era of hip hop so different from, the years when I was a kid, listening to hip hop, when I was really into it, it's just this whole effeminate aspect of this hip hop now. I mean, you got these rappers running around with dresses on, these guys all dialed up with earrings in both ears. These guys not only wearing locks in their hair, but they have them all done up like women. These guys are so effeminate, and they wear these tight pants, sagging pants that are tight. And then you have some of these people who are running around with skirts on and dresses. Yeah, this is Coonery and Buffoonery, and it's sickening. I mean, it's really sickening. And I think that Nas was right when he said it a few years ago, but I think it's even more relevant today. Hip hop overall is dead. You still have like little spasms of life, in terms of the artists that I mentioned, the few artists that are actually doing something, putting out some quality product, not relying on ghostwriters. I mean, these people that everybody looks up to nowadays, people like Drake and Kanye West. I mean, these guys have people writing their stuff for them. I mean, that was just unimaginable back in the day. If you had somebody writing your stuff for you, you didn't have any credibility. You lost your credibility as an artist back in the day. So those are just some of my thoughts about this issue. I may explore, this issue of propaganda and hip hop a little bit more, go into detail about it, because Lasheed's video about propaganda really inspired me. So I may talk about that more. So tell me what y'all think about this. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Peace.